And the judgment is easily one of the most impactful ones that could change the course of college admissions through NEET in India. And this legal battle was fought between two sets of students. The first, who was supposed to get admission as per their NEET scores, but did not get admission. And the second set of students, of course, was not eligible for admission, but they did end up getting admission in PG seats in various medical colleges in Puducherry. A two judge bench of the Madras High Court, comprising Justice R. Subramanian and Justice R. Kalaimati, have recently awarded compensation of 15 lakh rupees to be paid to each of the students who were illegally denied admission. The court also openly castigated the government of Puducherry and the medical colleges for colluding to make money off of students and denying admission to meritorious students. Now remember Dr. Kiran Bedi, she was then the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, and she had made it her mission to crack down on this spate of illegal admissions for medical college seats in 2017. There was also a viral video of hers doing the round at the time where she ticks off Puducherry government officials, and that was widely shared at the time. She was the lieutenant governor, remember, when V. Narayanaswamy was the Congress chief minister of the Union Territory. Let's take a look at what Dr. Kiran Bedi said to government officials way back in 2017 when she first stumbled upon this widespread issue of illegal admissions in medical college seats. It's a complex matter, but we're going to try and simplify this. And we're also going to try and tell you why this judgment is so important. For that, we're joined now by Mr. VBR Menon. He is, of course, the lawyer who has, taken the side of the students who were disadvantaged in this issue. They were actually, they were the ones who were supposed to have gotten admission by merit, but unfortunately, the colleges as well as other students and parents had sort of gotten together to deny meritorious admission to these students. Mr. Menon, congratulations. Again, it's a second victory for you in a sense. The appeal has been dismissed, and that's in your favor, of course. Can you very briefly tell us why this judgment is so important and what does it mean now for students? Like, there is one particular way of bypassing the whole NEET list that you have managed to stop now.
This judgment has got two parts. One is in respect of students who were denied admission in spite of having got selected based on NEET by the admission committee. The second part is those students who were admitted in their place arbitrarily and without the selection by the center. See, this issue came to me in 2017 when the admissions based on NEET started for the first time in Puducherry. Prior to that, the colleges had a free run. They could admit anybody whom they wanted, but the NEET put a restriction on them, and a central admission committee was to oversee the entire admissions. However, what happened was all the students who were admitted by the central admission committee, most of them were not allowed to join the colleges by demanding exorbitant fees. And in their place, the other students who were willing to pay, even though very low in merit, was allowed. So those students who were denied admission were referred to me by Dr. Kiran Bedi to get legal recourse. I filed
so Mr. Menon, I'm just going to jump in there. So Dr. Kiran Bedi, who was the Lieutenant Governor, she herself came to you and asked you to represent these students.
So she spoke to me directly online. Suddenly one day, I was surprised to get her call. And because I take up a lot of public interest cases in Tamil Nadu, she came to know that I'll be capable to take and I cannot be purchased by the colleges because that is a problem which they were facing. No, I'm sorry to say many of the lawyers also are purchasable commodities, but in my case, once I take up an issue, nobody can purchase me. So I filed this one writ petition before the first bench, saying that the students are denied admissions on account of fees. Kindly issue a direction to admit them only based on the fee determined by the fee committee. The Honorable First Bench passed an interim order directing the colleges to admit the students by collecting 10 lakhs each provisionally and subject to the fee fixation by a new fee committee in respect of deemed to be university colleges. In respect of the other three colleges, state affiliated, the fee was already fixed. Average coming to about 10 lakhs per year. So that was made applicable to the deemed to be university colleges also. This order was challenged before Supreme Court, and Supreme Court refused to intervene and directed the Madras High Court to proceed. But what happened was this order was passed on 16th June, whereas the admission process was completed on the 31/5. So there were already students who were admitted to those seats, wherein the students represented by me were seeking admission. This matter was taken up by National Medical Council, then it was called MCI, and they passed an order directing to discharge all the students who were admitted without the sponsorship by the Central Admission Committee. This order by NMC was challenged before Madras High Court. So what happened was there was a batch of writ petition by the students who got illegal admissions seeking regularization and batch of students who were denied admission and represented by me. This batch, when it came for admission, the High Court gave a stay to the discharge on the condition that the students will not seek any equity at the time of final disposal of the case. So they said
could you quickly explain that? So basically, there are two sets of students. One set is the students represented by you, who
yes.
are
who was
eligible
selected by CENTAC. One batch of students selected by CENTAC but not admitted by the college.
Right, and they are the ones who should get admission, correct?
Seeking their admission I was before the court, and the other petition was those who are admitted illegally in my place and were seeking their regularization.
Okay, so there were two batches of students, one who was supposed to get admission but did not get admission, and another set of students who were not supposed to get admission but they got admission.
Yes,
and both sets of students went to court.
Yeah, were before the court. So this matter was taken up on an extensive hearing extending over even the weekends. And finally, the Leonard single judge passed an order directing to discharge all the illegally admitted students and asking the colleges to pay some penalty that was the COVID time for various social purposes. And it was also held that the denial of admission to the students represented by me were illegal. But no compensation were probably that judge did not consider that aspect, even though there was a and they could not be admitted.
So the students who were not supposed to get admission but got admission, they were basically asked to leave. They were kicked out, right?
They were directed to be discharged, and the students whom I represent did not get any relief except a finding that they were illegally denied.
Okay, wow.
Because by that 2 years have passed. The students who were denied admission and represented by me had already got admission during the subsequent year by writing the NEET again. So it became infructuous. My main prayer became infructuous because of the delay, the judicial delay in deciding the dispute. And then what happened was the order of the Leonard single judge was challenged before the division bench. And against that only now the present order has come. I also filed a writ appeal saying that even though there is a finding that I am denied admission in spite of my selection, I deserve to be compensated because I lost 1 year, and I had to again write the NEET again during in next year. So for that, there are umpteen number of Supreme Court judgments that whenever there is an illegal denial of admission, these candidates are eligible for compensation. So that is what this present order has accepted my contention that those students who are denied admission in spite of their meritorious selection should be compensated 15 lakhs plus 1 lakh each. And those students who are illegally admitted, their admission is invalid.
I wanted to ask you now, this case, apart from the fact that, students have got justice, it shows very glaringly, it points a very glaring spotlight on the collusion between colleges and the government officials. Can you
Yes.
tell us a little more about what the court has found, what you have found in this particular case?
See, this collusion between, in fact, my observation is the government department, the CENTAC, etc., is an extended arm of the colleges. They function according to the direction, advice of these private colleges. They wield so much of power because by diverting a seat from a meritorious student to a non-meritorious student, a college on average gain about 1 crore during a 3-year period. So, if Puducherry has got roughly about 260 seats for PG Medical. So, 260 crores of money is they gain by through the illegal admissions, which they can spend to everybody. So, apart from the state government, I should also say that the NMC and UGC are also dancing to the tune of the medical colleges, surely because the money involved is huge and the colleges are able to purchase anybody and everybody. In fact,
So,
one of the colleges chairman came to me. Then I said, "You can purchase anything under the sun except me." So I told him, "You can have a coffee and go, but no, please don't come to me." This is
Mr.
what.
Menon, you're saying 260 crores, right? That's 260 crores in fees, in exorbitant fees collected by colleges from how many students?
Almost all the students and those who are willing to pay that kind of money were admitted. Those who are
Okay.
not willing were not admitted. Now there is another. See, this was in respect of 16 students. Now another 98 students I have sought compensation, which is now before the first bench. And the first bench said that we will be following this decision. So hopefully the
Wow.
remaining students also may get the by following. But these colleges may go to Supreme Court, and I don't know, they may manage a stay. I have, that is why I have already filed
Well,
a case.
let's hope that doesn't happen and justice continues to be carried out. But Mr. Menon, can you tell us very clearly what happened? So there is confusion because it's the first year of NEET being applied to PG admissions. There is a lot of confusion, and from what I read in the judgment, officials did take advantage of this confusion to
Absolutely.
to help colleges charge exorbitant fees to willing students. Can you tell us what there is a specific a note, an official note by an undersecretary of health that was referred to in the judgment? What exactly did that note say, and
See,
how did it help the colleges?
what happened was there was a Supreme Court judgment saying that there should be 3 rounds of counseling, first, second, and a mop-up counseling of the leftover. And if there are any seats lying vacant at the end of mop-up counseling, the CENTAC should send a list of students in the order of merit to fill up the vacancies by the colleges, and if there are 10 vacancies, they should send a list of 100 students. So the colleges were free to admit 10 students out of the 100, 1 is to 10. But what the undersecretary did was, he sent the entire list of students who are applied to CENTAC for admission and gave the liberty to the colleges to admit anybody whom they wish. So instead of sending 1 is to 10, he sent 1 is to 106, 182. No, that means the colleges had a wider choice to pick up students from the lower merit. So suppose he was sending 1:10, there would have been some control on merit, but he did not do that. He sent the entire list on the last day, 31st of admission. That too on 31st there was a counseling by the center. So by 5 o'clock the counseling was 3 o'clock counseling was over. 5 o'clock was the admission to be completed. Within the 2 hours, the colleges were told you can admit anybody. See, and colleges took advantage of that, and they've already decided to whom to admit because those people have already probably deposited the money. So the deputy secretary sent a communication which is not there in the file also. The judgment says that when it was called from the magistrate court, that communication is missing. But the colleges submitted before the court that we were given a list and there were so many vacancies. So we admitted from them the students, some of the students. See, my contention was there were nil vacancies because all the clinical courses which are in high demand were filled up by Centrac much earlier. The vacancies were only in respect of non-clinical courses, which has no takers even today. You must be reading in newspaper, even after lowering the NEET to zero, the colleges are not getting admission because the students are not interested to go for non-clinical courses. Whereas the clinical courses, the premium courses have already been filled up by Centrac. What these colleges did was, suppose there were 20 non-clinical course vacancies, they admitted students by citing there is a vacancy and admitted those students into the clinical courses by denying admission to those students who were already admitted to clinical courses. So this was a way of justifying part of the illegal admission by saying that we filled up them only to vacancies. In fact, there were no vacancies in clinical courses. I have demonstrated, I have given the details to the court. So the colleges are capable of manipulating, and the government was willing to, government officials were willing to dance to their cue. And NMC also would not have acted so swiftly unless Dr. Kiran Bedi took it up with the central government and some action. So otherwise, in the medical history, NMC has not acted. They generally send such a discharge order after 1 or 2 years when the students are almost at the verge of completion. Here it happened, and UGC is another body which is supposed to control all the deemed to be universities, but they are on the payrolls of the deemed to be university. They don't want to act. So ultimately, nobody is except Kiran Bedi and me, nobody was interested, and the court also has its own drawbacks. See, it was observed by the learned single judge. The court is responsible for the situation because such a matter involving discharge should have been decided immediately, because the students could have at least written next year and then got into, now allowing them to complete the course, issue them and now they say your admission is illegal. In one way it is but they have given an affidavit saying that they won't claim equity. So that's what the judge, but still there is an element that the courts are also responsible for the present condition by not deciding such important issues in time. They have time to decide many high-profile cases, but not on such important matters. So I
Yes,
would
that's a very common criticism that does exist. You're right, but okay. So you explain how the collusion between the government and the colleges played out in this particular scenario, and you're saying that the clinical courses, in fact, are being filled up without any oversight, in a sense, without following the rules. And I'm guessing this must be pretty much all over the country. It's not restricted to Puducherry at all.
see the clinical courses, they did not admit the students who were selected. They created vacancy. I said manufactured seats, not vacant seats. They manufacture by denying seats to those meritorious students. And at the on 31st, when the last day of admission, they admitted students from this list to those seats, saying that those seats are vacant. See, the rule says, suppose first round you select some candidates and they don't join. They are supposed to inform the central admission committee that out of so many selected, so much did not join. So the second round, those seats will be added. These colleges did not do that. Till 31st, they did not inform the central admission committee who did not join. So Central Admission Committee was under the impression that whoever they have selected have been admitted. And in fact, the list of students sent by Central Admission Committee to NMC includes all the students who are selected by them, but not students who are admitted by the colleges. That is how the discharge happened, because when the list of students sent by Central Admission Committee to NMC and the list sent by the colleges to NMC of admitted students, they found a difference, because more than about 90 students were in the college list were not in the SENDAC list. In SENDAC list was somebody else. That is how they passed the order to discharge all those who are not in the SENDAC list.
Okay, now the students have been discharged. That is, they've been, though they have completed their courses, they have technically been kicked out of college. But what happens to the bureaucrats, to the officials, to the medical college, administration, the management, whoever was responsible for this kind of corruption, this kind of flouting of the laws? What happens to them next?
See,
Who punishes them?
the SENTAC has been directed to pay out of 15 lakhs, 5 lakhs each. The government is supposed to pay. But nothing happens to the officials, and many of them who were taking decisions at that point of time have retired and gone. In fact, the judge was, the bench was opening during the arguments that hereafter SENTAC should consist of only people who have at least 10 years tenure of service, because they appoint them at the verge of their retirement, and by the time any issue comes, they retire and go. None of them who were instrumental main persons are in service now. They are all retired and gone. Otherwise, some claim could have been raised on them, which so the by government has been asked to pay 5 lakhs each, which they are not paid even to Siddharth. In fact, I have mentioned, then I am bringing it on contempt. And as regard colleges, they have been asked to pay 10 lakhs each. It is peanuts, because they have earned 1 crore by replacing these students. 1 crore each. The 16 crores they have earned, and they are paying only 16 into 10, 1.6 crore. So to them it doesn't matter. In fact, in the case of Siddharth, immediately they pay 10 lakhs. They want to, and because it is such a small amount.
It's pocket change, exactly.
I requested the bench that they should be asked to refund the difference in fee that they have collected from the students plus penalty. Then only it would have been a lesson to them. But somehow I don't know, because many times reason doesn't go when the final decision comes. But this bench understood the problem clearly, and they were quite sympathetic toward the students. But learned single judge has passed a much better judgment, running it to about 120 pages. That is clearly revealing. He finds fault with court, he finds fault with whoever is responsible. Unfortunately, that Lordship Justice Anand Venkatesh would have probably missed to give compensation to the students represented by me. Otherwise, he was totally in favor of my contentions. So, see, your question is, unless there is some penalty which will impinge on their actual working, this system will continue, because they may pay 5 lakh, 10 lakh, that too. They thought they had to pay only 16, but they don't know my bill for seeking for 100 students are already there in the first bench pending. But even that is not, all of them, they earned about 1 crore each extra, in spite of Supreme Court judgments saying that how admission should be. Because Supreme Court judgments are very clear, but they have been flouting this Supreme Court judgment for almost 20 years. See, Supreme Court, what it says is, you cannot start admission process without fixing fee. But in respect of deemed to be university medical colleges across India, no fee has been fixed by any fee committee. My bill, which was finally decided by the Madras High Court, has been challenged in Supreme Court, and it is pending now there with a status quo. So the deemed to be university colleges have no control. Nobody has got control over what amount they have. It is only what the traffic can bear, or what the demand and supply. So, unless that is controlled, the fee is regulated by a fee committee in respect of all the colleges, especially deemed to be university colleges. These mispractices will happen. And second, most important, which has not been attended to so far, is the NEET percentile selection is totally erroneous. A student can get admitted with a 0 mark in zoology if he or she has done very well in maths. You know, for a doctor, basic knowledge in biology and zoology is zoology and botany is important, but they give a overall percentile, and percentile itself is wrong because totally, if you see across India, there are 60,000 seats for PG medical, and about 6 lakh students apply. What the NMC earlier, now all the 6 lakhs can be considered for 60,000 seats. That means the bargaining power of the colleges have increased. Instead of that, what should have been NMC doing is, if there are 60,000 seats, they should say only the top 1,20,000 should be eligible for admission. Unless that is done, see, the chance to get low meritorious students admitted, and they will be willing to pay extra fee because they have done they are low on merit. This evil will not go. There should be total vacancy, total seats available. It's a double of that alone should be considered from the top of the merit list. That is not happening. Instead of that, what NMC did now is 0% is okay. That means anybody who has written the exam so colleges are happy. They can get 0% person who will be willing to pay much more fee than who is a meritorious student. So this is the basic evil which is happening. Pollution is something which also will go unless the fee is regulated. The money power with them has to come down. So,
Right.
I don't know who will bell the cat. I have been doing it for the last 5 years. I am before Supreme Court on 2 matters to get the fee decided, and I have been mentioning, trying to bring it up. Hopefully, another 6 months, the fee will be regulated in respect of deemed to be colleges. That some amount of
Well,
reasonable.
absolutely, and really, I think on behalf of like-minded people, I would really want to thank you for belling the cat in this instance, at least, and for fighting the good fight that a lot of us think about it, but we don't really have the means or the knowledge to do it. Thank you for that, and I and Dr. Kiran Bedi, in her capacity as a Lieutenant Governor, having taken this issue up, is in itself uh, really commendable task that she has done. So thank you, Mr. Menon, and I do hope
See,
that.
one more issue I just want to say, the health is one of the most important. You need the most meritorious, brilliant students for otherwise
Yes.
he will actually I am afraid to go to any doctor because he will just to make back. See, today to complete a postgraduate degree it costs you for almost 3 crores of rupees, and a super speciality another 1 crore, 4 crore. So
Right.
spending 4 crore, what will be the motive of an average person?
To get the money back.
So that is what is we are going. I wish sensibility will come at all levels, hopefully soon.
Yes.
Thank
And with that, I'd like to thank you, and thank you very much. It's the first time you've come on the Lead and Spoken, and we do hope that you will be with us on many occasions in the future. Thank you, Mr. Menon.
Thank you. Thank you.